I'm glad Bob Newhart found time to drop in because he's so busy with his own TV show. Incidentally, Bob, I saw your show last Saturday, but under very bad conditions. My set was turned on. Ladies and gentlemen, my very witty friend, Mr. Bob Newhart.
I hope I don't repeat anything someone else has said about Johnny, but I fell asleep. But continuing our trip down memory lane, Johnny, as you all know, Johnny and I are good friends. He gave me one piece of advice outside of Sneaky Pete's on Sunset Boulevard. About 4 o'clock in the morning, Johnny turned to me and said, and I'm having that made into a saying that I can put on my bedroom wall. See, now I decided not to go to their stuff, but now I'm beginning to wonder. That's the biggest one on that page, yeah. Some of you may not know this. Johnny's first wife was named Joan. Second wife was Joanne. His present wife is Joanna. The man just won't go for new towels.
You've all seen the Bob Newhart Show. It gives the viewers a chance to calm down after the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Ladies and gentlemen, the twinkle in the CBS eye, Mr. Bob Newhart.
Thank you. As is true at most of these roasts, people get up and they say really terrible things about the guest, and you might get the idea that the man is an ogre. And I would like to set some things straight about our guest tonight. No one has mentioned his distinguished war record. Unfortunately, he was on the German side, which is probably why no one mentions it. There have been rumors that he is not a bright man. There's a story going around.
That's not true.
Well, now you can deny this. There's a story going around. Things were not going that well in the acting profession, and Bill decided to take a civil service examination. It was an oral examination, and he studied for a full year. And he went before the examiner, and the examiner's first question was, what has 5 fingers, is made of leather, and you wear on your hand? And Bill shook his head. And the examiner said, it's a glove. And then he presented the second question. He said, what is made of leather, has 10 fingers, and fits on both hands? And Bill pondered that for a while. And finally shook his head. And the examiner said, 2 gloves. Then the examiner said, let's change the category. We'll go into civics. Who was president of the United States from 1924 to 1928? And Bill said, 3 gloves?
When it comes to comedy, Bobby Newhart knows where it's at. Why he don't go get it, I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, the funniest psychiatrist I know, Mr. Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart spot. Don is my best friend. which just gives you some idea of the difficulty I have in making friends. As some of you may have already known, Don's hotel room was recently robbed. The only thing that was taken was the music to Don's act. So far, the Chicago police have picked up 33,000 people who might have had a possible motive. Don is just about to sign one of the largest deals in the history of Las Vegas. Why he is signing Frank's deal, we'll never know. But Don has not done that well in television. He's had 4 series now. The last one, a couple of Dons, received a -4 Nielsen rating. This means not only there's no one watching, but several people without TV sets had heard about the show and said if they got one, they wouldn't watch it. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to get it later, so I may as well stay up here a few more times. But Don's career continues to skyrocket. Will be announced in a few days in the trades, in the papers, that Don has been chosen as the national spokesman for Preparation H, which we're all quite excited about. Many unkind things have been said about Don. As his best friend, I think it's incumbent upon me to tell you the true facts. And I don't think Don will take umbrage at this because Don doesn't know what the hell umbrage means. It's been said that Don never helps other performers. I remember when I was starting out, Don pulled me aside and gave me some advice. We have a saying in our business, be nice to people on the way up because you meet the same people on the way down. Don told me, you run into entirely different people and the hell with them. Many people say Don is not a good father, but Don is very proud of his daughter Mindy and his son Larry. I know this, I was in his house at the time. Larry came in, Larry wanted a turtle, and Don rushed out, because anything Larry wants, he immediately rushes to get, as soon as the football game is over. And he brought him back a turtle, and Larry gave it to him the next day and said, the turtle has blisters on his feet. And Don took it back to the pet shop. And the owner said, that's impossible, the turtles don't get blisters on their feet, and gave him some salve. And Don helped Larry put the salve on the turtle's feet. And the next day, Don brought back the turtle. It again had blisters. This went on for 5 days. Finally gave him a new turtle. Don took it back to Larry and gave it to him. And just as he was leaving, he turned around. Something told him to turn around, and there was Larry going, rum, rum, rum.
The star of the Bob Newhart Show, Mr. Bob Newhart.
As you know, Laugh-In was the #1 show for 6 years on television. What you may not know, that Laugh-In was a very tough sell. I would like to recreate for you now a phone conversation between Dan Rowan and the head of talent at NBC, Dave Tebbett, and it went something like this. Oh, there is a phone.
Yes.
How come I'm sober and you can see it? You want to interrupt any time during this? Mary? Yeah, who's calling? Rowan Martin. Are they the two I hired to wax the floors? They say they're a comedy team. Yeah, listen, Mary, can I duck them? It's the 10th call in the last hour. Yeah, I'll take it, yeah. Ella, who am I speaking to, please? Dick Rowan? Dan Rowan. What can I do for you, Mr. Rowan? You have an idea for a comedy series? Yeah, I'd love to talk to you about it, but the name of the show is Rowan Martin's Laugh-In. What happens on the show, Dan? You start off with a girl saying, "Sock it to me," and then she gets hit with a bucket of water and falls through a trapdoor. That's very funny, Dan. Al, you want to pick up 4? I got a coup. Go ahead, Dan, I'm listening. What happens next? A guy in a Nazi uniform pokes his head out from behind a palm, and he says, "What?" Very interesting. You getting this, Al? You got more. The best part is coming up. I certainly hope so. Then for the closer, the cast spends the last 20 minutes saying goodnight, Dick. and that's it. So I have to admit that's original, Dan. By the way, who's Dick? He's the guy in the background laughing. Listen, Dan, I'm really glad you called, and we were going to think about this idea. Yeah, I'll get back to you. Mary, yeah, in the future, will you handle the crank calls yourself? You got another one on 3. Who is it this time? Carol O'Connor. He has an idea about a lovable bigot. Yeah, you want to take care of it, Mary? I'm going out for lunch. Right, come on.